Hey, welcome to today's live. Happy Friday. I hope you're all doing well. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny, and manifesting the life you desire. I hope everyone is doing well today, and if you're not, then I hope this session brings you the insight, peace, and clarity that you need. If you would like a free reading, just click the link in the pinned comment and you'll be added to the list. Quick reminder of how I read. So I'm an energy reader, tuning into you and your situation to bring clarity. So please provide as much context and detail as possible when asking your question. And bear in mind that I don't do yes/no questions, timelines, or general readings, just to ensure that for what I feel that your reading is meaningful. And please hold your question until you're called. And for all the guidelines, and watch out for list updates, which I do post regularly to see where you are in the list. Just check the chat, which I'm going to go over and grab the list now. But hey to everyone in the chat. Hey Ari, hey Andrea, thank you so much to boost the algorithm, Andrea. I appreciate that. Raya, Anne, Sarah, lovely to have you all here. Let me just go and grab the list. It's busy today, which is great. So I might have to do it in two parts. One second, guys. Part one. And part two. Hey Venny, hey Alvin, hey Danny. Lovely to see you here. Let's get into it. So first up we have Anne. You are first on the list, my love. Thank you for posting. I'm using the Gypsy Fair Tarot today. So Anne asks, after our meeting on Saturday, my crush's energy has been shown as 7 of Cups. Yes, needing to choose one direction. What direction is my crush most likely to choose regarding me and our connection? Okay. Oh, there we go, jumping out. How funny, 6 of Cups. So we've got the 7 of Cups on Wednesday, I think it was. Got the 6 of Cups today. I mean, the 6 of Cups, 6 for me always represent balance, Anne. So this reciprocation feeling. So this give and take, yeah? And look at all these flowers that are blossoming as well. So what this tells me is that I feel like this is a good omen for you, Anne, and the potential for growth in this connection, okay? 6s are about often connections that we have with people who allow it, almost connect us with our inner child, yeah? That kind of innocent sense of joy, of being able to play. And I feel like that this connection has that energy about it, yeah? That when it can move forward, when you can get to know each other, there's a purity and there's an innocence and there's kind of a childlike joy that you bring out in each other. So to me, this is a step towards reciprocity in this connection, and a step towards growth as well, because all these flowers that are just blossoming, and cups are, are about traditionally about romance, love, or very much so matters of the heart, yeah? So I think this is reassuring for you, Anne, okay? So bear that in mind of this upcoming connection. Stay strong in your manifestation and your mindset, yeah? And keep manifesting this kind of energy. I hope that resonated, Anne. So, next up we have TB and my love, if you are here. Hey Ivo, nice to see you here. Yep, Shredder, you've been added. I can, Diamond, absolutely. Check the energy up to 6 months. So TB, I'm not sure if TB is here. Venny and Eco7, you're next on the list. I may have to close the list a little bit earlier today just because it's busy, which is great, but I just want to make sure that I get through everyone. So yeah, the chat is a little bit behind for me, as some of you may know, so thank you, Venny. I've got your question. Hey, Samreen. Thanks for letting me know you're here. You're after Eco7 if Eco7 is here. So, Venny asks, I just applied for a new job this morning. Awesome. Can I expect interview call from the application? So I don't do yes, no questions. Please bear that in mind. Or any jobs I have applied. What is the direction of my new job seeking? So I'll just see what energy is currently surrounding this, Venny. Okay, so are we seeing movement? Are we seeing the need for patience? What's the energy around this? Okay. That cup that wanted to come out. So with the Four of Cups, okay, we have options, we have choices. The message with the Four of Cups is if we do get rejected, we need to try to not let this get us. Of course, it's natural that we'll feel disappointed, that we'll feel down. But there is a very specific job, I think, Venny, that is coming for you. Okay, and the Four of Cups can often come. It may have already been that you've applied and you've had rejections, or from some jobs there may be disappointments. Okay, and the Four of Cups asks us not to sink into feeling rejected and to internalize it and really, in a sense, to take it personally, because it can be quite an emotional roller coaster when we're unhappy in our own job, yeah, and each application that we do, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of energy, and you can't help but get your hopes up. But often with jobs, it's just being the right place at the right time, the luck of the draw. There can be a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we don't know of. Maybe if we don't get given the position, it's because someone else was already lined up for it internally, etc., etc. You know, there can be a million and one reasons. So the Spirit asks you to say, don't dwell or sink into those feelings if and when that happens. Remember that rejection is redirection, okay? That's always the best. So if this can be the near future energy for you, so if you get some no's, Venny, okay? So you may even be feeling rejected down because you've had no breakthroughs as yet. That can even get us, you know, when we're in that stagnant energy, it can already set us down that route of feeling somewhat rejected. Now, the Four of Cups, though, says, okay, so these things haven't worked out, but there is a fourth option, okay? There is another way, or there is a specific job, I feel, that has the potential to be more emotionally fulfilling, and that's what we're holding out for. So as well, maybe a reminder, Benny, not to just take any job, but because we don't want to jump out of the frying pan and into the fire. Okay, so we want to make sure that this job that we're moving to next aligns with us more, at least from what we can gather, as much as the job description, the people we meet in the interview, that it feels right. Okay, we need to be not just use our mind here, we need to trust our intuition, we need to trust our heart and our feelings on this. So really, it's about managing our emotions, trusting that there is a specific cup, which is the offering, which is the job, is on its way to you. It will come down the track, Benny. And you need to hold out for one that aligns with your heart as well. So I hope that resonated. Thank you, Eco. So Eco asks, after much contemplation, I have finally created a store name and logo. Awesome. I'd like to know if this longer shop name will carry relatively good energy in the long term. Okay. So is this another change, Eco? Because I know that you'd settled on one, but this is a new one. You're welcome, Benny. Keep us posted. Okay, Eco. Oh, look at that. Couldn't be a clearer message for you here, Eco 7, the sun. Shining bright, okay? So the sun card is the happiest card in the deck. It's a major arcana. First thing that comes to mind is, as well, that comes through. So Eco, does this store name and logo, does it bring you, does it spark joy in you? Does it bring happiness? I mean, the sun card is a very good omen. And all I see and all I feel really is that your light is getting stronger. And it's all about your maybe taking back the layers, Eco 7, as well, in this journey, about revealing more and more parts of your authentic self. Yeah. And being able to shine your light, your individual, unique, bright light. And the more that you can do that, and if this shop name, logo aligns with that, you know, if it represents you and sparks that joy in you, direct kind of simple messages, and this just feels like that for you, Eco 7, with this. It just feels like a resounding blessing. So I don't do yes, no questions, but I would, you know, I take this, if I was ever going to, then this would be a yes to answer your question, okay? Okay, so we have Samri next. So Tia, I'm sorry, I did call for you earlier, but you weren't here. I will read for you at the end if I've got time, but the list is pretty long today. But if you have time to hang on, then I will read for you at the end. If you can hang around. That's the modern world, isn't it? So ever since that day, his family completely ghosted us. Oh my goodness. As I can't help but wonder what was going through their minds. Absolutely. Why didn't they share more pictures, and why did they expect me to jump into this relationship from day one? Yeah. Well, Samreen, red flag, yeah? Red flag for you. But let's have a look at that. Maybe it's because you asked for, you know, maybe it was because they're hiding something with how he really is, you know? But let's ask Spirit. Interesting. Six of Pentacles. Pentacles. So a lot of Pentacles energy, Samreen. This, just throwing this out there to see if it resonates, but could finances be involved in this at all? If this could be like, I don't know how that influences you know, these kind of relationships or connections. Because Three of Pentacles is about having a common goal and needing to work together. Samreen says, the guy had birthmarks which he was trying to cover in the photos shared with my mum, but I found his other pictures on Facebook which were unedited. Okay. This is I need to unpick this answer of what was going on with them. Why Six of Pentacles? Why and Three of Pentacles? Let me know, Samreen. He was in the UK, whereas I am South Asia. So let me know about the financial side, if this can be an instigating factor, because the reason why I say is because so many pentacles have been thrown out here. Six of Pentacles is about balance. It's about equal give and take. It's about reciprocity. And the Three of Pentacles is about having a common goal. It doesn't feel negative. So tell me, Spirit, why the ghosting? And then King of Pentacles as well. Something work related, something financial, maybe that you're not even aware of. It's definitely just because there is the confirmation, sort of final confirmation there for me because of King of Pentacles. So they may be having money issues. Things may be, you know, Six of Pentacles, because it's about balance, can mean, you know, the shadow side of the Six of Pentacles is that things are financially out of balance, okay, for them. Three of Pentacles is like working towards a common goal and having to have teamwork. So it can be that they've had to, say, pull together to focus on this. And then that final confirmation with the King of Pentacles, again, the focus suddenly has switched to money, work, and all those. That has taken precedence. And I feel like that's what's put this on hold. They obviously probably didn't want to communicate this to you. They haven't handled it. You know, I would say that was, I don't know, obviously culturally how that would land, but obviously just ghosting someone, particularly after that, is a huge red flag and is bad manners, is rude to me, how I'd interpret it. But if it's all about money and finances and something that's going on that side, it's about practical issues and it's about money. So it's nothing that you said or did. It feels very much to do with what's practical issues and issues in the 3D that have cropped up. Things have gone out of balance that way. Something's gone out of whack. It could be a factor that if he's based in the UK and you're in Asia, that South Asia, that became unfeasible for some reason, but it feels like it runs deeper than that and it's more about money issues. Maybe you'll never find out, Samreen, on that, okay? But it's with all these pentacles, it's very much like a practical issue came up and it became a no-go option. But nonetheless, they've kind of handled this badly because they could have offered some form of communication to you to even if they didn't reveal everything, but just to kind of give you some reassurance of, or be honest with you that this couldn't move forward. So I hope that resonated. Well, there you go. It worked in your favor now. I have all the time to manifest and expect. Well, yeah, it was something that you weren't keen to move forward with, I know, Samreen, so it's good to look at it in that positive way. Okay. You're welcome, Samreen. So, Danny, baby, my love, this is for you. Actually, I'm gonna close the list now because it has got full. Very full. And then I'll refill. Danny. There we go. Okay, Danny baby, my love, this is for you. Danny asked for a message for my highest good at this point in my life, please. Right now, it's a waiting game. Yeah, work is good. I'm learning to drive. Awesome. Relationship is good now. Okay, that's nice to hear that things have got back on track. The only thing I would love is my own home. Yes. Okay, so a message for your higher good. Whoa, too many, Spirit. And how with manifesting your own home, how is that like a journey that's already started, Danny, just with you having now a stable job? Is that possible? Let's see what your higher self wants to tell you though. Three of Cups. So I know you said it's a waiting game, and what Spirit has said is try if you can at this time to enjoy, like, rather than it being an impatient kind of waiting time, this can be a time where if things are going well, that the pressure is off, and it's like trying to enjoy those small moments. And it's a Three of Cups is like very social. It's a celebration card. It has a very light-hearted energy. Having fun, if we can, if we're not weighed, those times when we're not weighed down or really struggling, like, if you've shifted maybe out of, I know that financial worries and stress was such a big thing for you, Danny, in the past, and now we've shifted out of that. You made that happen, you moved that dial on that, and you've got a partner who's more supportive and positive. A lot has changed, and now maybe it's a bit like to be able to exhale and breathe and try to just maybe enjoy it a bit more. Let's see what you say about the house. It's not clear as yet because so many other things need stability. Okay, so you're being sensible about that. I'm working on saving towards it. I'm working a bank, so I've asked about staff loans. Awesome. So you're doing everything you can. You've already got the ball rolling on that. You're being sensible with that stability. So you're absolutely right that this is a time where there is only so much that we can do now. The wheel is spinning, yeah? You've got the momentum going. You will get there. And now it's just trying to enjoy yourself in those moments where we can now. The small moments, yeah, so I'm trying to put myself out there more. I have date night once, twice a month. That's great with my partner. Reconnecting with friends if you can. Yeah, Five of Pentacles is about the struggle that you've been through, and maybe like when you've been through such a lot and had struggle and been in maybe a state of lack, it's when things get easier and change, it's hard to shift gears and catch up with that, okay, and move out of survival mode and move out of lack and move out of fear. Because look at this, it's like light and dark, isn't it? The sort of struggle, again, that financial worry hanging over your head. You've moved the dial, you've changed so much. The result, you're always pushing forward, which is a great attribute to have. But now if you can, just take the pressure off yourself and try to find moments of joy and just being able to have fun. With your son, with your partner, with friends, however, whatever you feel drawn to, with time on your own even. There's something about Spirit wants you to celebrate how far you've come, Danny. And you're absolutely right that there isn't anything more to do. You're already doing it all, which is great. So you're on it, and try to breathe a sigh of relief and kind of believe that. So I hope that resonates. Danny says, I have people that want to see me. By transportation is a problem. All right, okay, so that's why I'm working on my driver's license. And my partner keeps telling me to relax and let things be because I'm a worrier. As a natural worrier myself, you know, it's one of the hardest things to switch off our minds. And it's, if you are very driven as well person, you know, that's one of the hardest things to do. Maybe meditation, Danny, as well, as a worrier. You know, it doesn't just have to be social things and fun things. It can be, you know, carving out some time to meditate if you're not already. This can allow us to be much more in the moment and present. Essentially, we're struggling to be in the present. About the wages after being there so long. Any advice for this situation? It's tricky, isn't it, B? Having worked in the corporate environment and the unfairness, you know, that permeates the corporate culture, it's very hard to deal with when they don't value, essentially they don't really value their workers as a whole. Interesting. 10 of Wands. Okay. 10 of Wands, okay. I feel like, so 10 of Wands has the energy of, it's a burden, okay? And this is a burden, and carrying a burden in many respects that's been going on for some years. The bonus, getting less and less. I mean, it can even talk about burnout here as well. I don't know if you're feeling that. I mean, I know you say you're happy in the job, so maybe that's not, but maybe other issues if you love the job, the work, but the issues around it may even add towards giving feelings of burnout or feeling exhausted. Now, the King of Wands is about taking control of this situation. Now, a few things here, because what the goal is for the Ten of Wands is being able to put this burden down one way or the other, okay? So you have a few options here. I don't know if number one, is it possible, does it feel feasible to have a sit-down conversation with them? Oh, so you are in burnout right now, so there we go. I love what I do, but the company and people I work with, I'm not keen on, yeah. So number one is having a conversation, a sit-down conversation with them, if you haven't already, about your time here, your value, and kind of facing it head on about this bonus and see if that would change anything. We can be professional. You're totally within your rights to do that. If you feel that that's just like a total no-go, which I understand, if it's just like it's not, maybe it's a toxic environment, and that would just feel like it would put you in danger in some ways, yes, for asking for more. Then there's option two, which is just accepting that this is how it's going to be. And if that's the case, do we want to stay? Well, the third option is look at other options and choices. It's always good and even better to start looking at other options of jobs when we don't hate the job. You're not keen on the people or the company, but see what else is out there. How much have you investigated that or looked down that path? Because sometimes, we're so consumed in our own role and job, and it does take quite a lot of energy to look at other companies and things like that, and put our energy into that when we kind of, we don't hate our job. But in a way, that's the perfect time to look, because we're not desperate and we're not just wanting to jump ship and get out. That's a worst headspace to do it in, if that makes sense. Because this King of Wands here is all about following our passions and taking charge of the situation. So instead of waiting for things to change, because it most likely won't, like this is how it is, this company has been doing this for years, and this is more than likely, this is the deal. So you're in burnout now, so that tells you quite a lot, B, as well, about that something is out of balance. Can you give less to this job? That could be another way to move forward with this. If you decided to stay, then through the fact that you're in burnout tells me that you are giving too much to this work as well. Are there ways that you can protect your energy and draw that back? But the whole King of Wands energy is about needing to take control of the situation one way or the other. Only you can decide as the person in this situation what the best move forward is. But some moves need to be made. Change does need to happen. Wands is fire energy, so it's all about kicking up the dust, ushering in change. What sparks your joy? What makes you feel yes, that is the way forward? Is it okay, I'm going to, instead of giving 150% to the job, I'm going to give 90% to the job. You can still do your job well, but don't give your whole life. Or does pursuing other job, going for job interviews, looking at what else is out there, does that get you fired up and make you feel more alive inside again? But this is Spirit saying, we're in burnout, we need to put some burdens down, and you're the person who can make that happen. Start kicking up change, start making movement one way or the other, and doesn't have to be perfect. It can be messy. Messy is okay, but change is needed. So I hope that resonates. B says, that's good advice. I do need to start looking what's out there. It's so daunting, yeah, when you haven't had a job interview for so long. It is. They will be getting bare minimum from me now. That's good. So yeah, because it is daunting, and then it's scary to change. But you might be, like I said, you're kind of in the sooner you can do it rather than before you really, really hate this job and are desperate to get out. It's like the earlier that you can do it before you get to that point is the better. I know from personal experience, I've stayed in jobs too long. And then I've kind of made rash decisions because I just wanted to get out, yeah? Okay. So we have Flores next. You want to go ahead and post your question? Like I say, guys, I post the list regularly, so just be patient. It will be posted. Thank you, Diamond Heart. But yeah, but please just bear that in mind. Obviously, when I'm reading, please don't interrupt me, and just wait for the list to be updated in the chat. So we have Flores, but I'm not sure if Flores is here. And then we have Nat, if you're here, my love. We have Flores, we have Nat, we have Sarah. Oh, sorry guys. I'll be back in 1 minute. We're having a heat wave where I am. I'm in the UK. We're having a heat wave, which I'm not complaining about, but it is warm. I need a fan in this room. Hey, Nat. So Nat would like the energy around your current path. Is this career? Is this love? Is this or your spiritual path? Just so I know exactly where I'm looking for you, Nat. And you hope you're following a positive path. Spiritual path. Interesting. 4 of Cups. So this message, this came through earlier, but 4 of Cups is about how we handle the shadow side of spiritual path of life, things that we endure and things that we experience, and about setbacks or disappointments. And in some ways, maybe feeling, tell you what resonates here, like let down, rejected, even, you know, it can be, which we all experience, I think, at times, is feeling abandoned by God, the universe, the light, whatever you like to call it, okay? But when we experience setbacks and disappointments and things not working out how we had hoped, it can sink us emotionally into feeling that God has abandoned us. But it isn't personal in that way, like God isn't deciding what works for us, what doesn't work for us. And if this is my belief, you know, that we've been good, so we're rewarded, we're being bad, so we're being punished. It's just the almost the chaos of life, you know, everything happens and then we find a reason, and God and universe is actually what I believe is there just as a constant source of support through the difficulties, through the disappointments, that it's there to lift us up, to fill our cup, and to show us a different way so we can still get what we really want, we can still get what we desire, but it may have to happen in a different way. It may not look the way that we had originally imagined it to look. Maybe something better is waiting for us that we couldn't possibly have imagined. And that thing that we so really, really wanted and thought was for us was not for us, okay? And in a way, the universe or our higher self, it's better to think it as your higher self, as your choice, kind of knows that there was something, a better path, a different path. So I hope that resonates in how I feel like the message and the energy around your current path, what you're saying, Nat, is a reminder of that, of to see the setbacks and the disappointments not as punishment to you, or not that God is not supporting you. God is always there, the universe is always there to support you, and this is just sometimes the way that it goes. And there is a fourth cup of a way, a different way for what you want to materialize. So I hope that resonated. So next up we have Sarah, if you were here, and then we have Alvin. I'm glad that resonates, Nat. We have Sarah, we have Alvin, we have Diamond Heart. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so Sarah asks, even though earlier this month CE asked for indefinite space, but I'll be at his city in September, what's going to happen when I ask to see initial CE when I'm in the city? What will be the outcome? Okay, so I'm an energy reader, so I can look at the energy around what would happen, what would their response be, I think is the best way to kind of read this that would be useful. Sarah, how will CE be response? How would they respond to if you asked to see them in their city? I mean, if they have, well, all I would say is if they have asked for indefinite space, I would say that we need to be respectful of that boundary. So I don't know how wise that would be. So what I'm going to do is ask Spirit for some advice for you. You obviously want to reconnect, but they've asked for indefinite space. So where do we go from here? So I am going to reframe that a bit, because I feel like we must be respectful of people's boundaries if they have asked for indefinite space. Don't you agree? Look at this, Queen of Wands with the Star. These are actually two really beautiful cards to see, Sarah. I feel like with these cards coming through, okay, is that we need to have more faith in your ability to manifest and draw towards you what you want, okay? So I'm not going to look at his response, so I understand if this isn't I'm going to read now, I'll pull the cards, if this isn't the question that you want to answer, but I would have to say sort of ethically, if someone's asked for indefinite space, then we should respect their boundaries. And it's spiritual advice for you. Going forward on this, the Star is that there is still hope in this situation. The Star is a wish come true, wish upon a star kind of energy. And I feel like we need to attract, not chase, and bring that kind of energy to this. And you will possibly, by, you know, going against their boundaries and going against their wishes, push this person further away. The Queen of Wands has faith in herself, has courage, she is very charismatic, and this is all you, Sarah. You are this Queen of Wands. And maybe that you are someone who feels things deeply and is very passionate as well, and that's not a negative thing. But maybe there are times when we need to manage these feelings and manage these emotions as well, and not be too impulsive. And what I think the energy that you need to be working on is attracting rather than chasing, and having that kind of self-belief in you. Give them that space that they've asked for. Let them be, let them have it, let them miss you. And work on the mindset around trusting that they will reach back out to you, and that that your wish upon a star energy and what you hope for is still possible and still on the horizon. So I hope that resonated. Next up we have Alvin, and then we have Diamond Heart. If you want to go ahead and post your question. You're welcome, Sarah. Thank you. So Alvin asks, how should I approach my decluttering process for my life to make space for what's next? Interesting. Okay, so this relationships? Is this practically? In what ways are we decluttering, Alvin? I'm intrigued. But let's see what Spirit has to say. tell me more when you say whole life. What does that mean? Give me examples. Ace of Wands. So there is a new beginning, a fresh start, which is what this decluttering process is leading you to, I think, okay? The Ace of Wands as well, so this is ruled by the element of fire, Alvin, so it's about our passions and our heart's desires, yeah? So it's what gets us fired up and what gets us out of bed in the morning and gets us excited. Maybe you already know, Alvin, that's the driving force behind this clearing your clutter. So what I would say is, along with, you know, how you are approaching this decluttering, you say your whole life, so obviously if you can be more specific, that can be helpful. But it can be also very useful to, now is the time in the decluttering process to get very clear as well about what it is that you want. So what are you passionate about? What is it that you are clearing space, and then we need to hold space. Don't fill it up with more clutter, with more rubbish. We need to hold space once we've gone to all that effort to make way for what we really want. And the clearer that we can get about what it is that we really want, so we can do that through meditation, through journaling, opening up from messages from our higher self that is always trying to communicate to us about what comes next. You're a Sagittarius fire sign, yeah. So Sagittarius are great at getting things moving and getting projects off the ground. All fire signs are great at that. Sometimes what happens with Sagittarius and other fire signs is that they can lose interest and walk away and kind of finish the job. Because you've got your earth signs in moon and rising, that's probably counteracted quite a lot, which is good, because then it's like the staying power can come in. But Sagittariuses do get bored easily. So what my advice would be is to get clear about what you want, begin to journal about this, and there is an element of patience and seeing this whole thing out if we really are going to start this kind of explosive new start, really, and turn things around in a big way. You do have challenges with consistency, yeah, exactly. So it's the kind of dark side, the shadow side of being someone who is great at making change happen. But then the boredom sets in and we kind of hop off onto a different new thing. And then the question becomes a bit like about what we struggle then with, maybe making long lasting progress. So try to temper that in yourself and try to get one pointed about the goal. So I hope that resonated for you, Alvin. So next up we have Diamond Heart, and then we have Andrea, 54 Hector. Kristen, part 2 is just this part 2 of the list, because the list is long today, so I've had to break it into 2 parts. There isn't a part 2 to this live. So Diamond Heart, Andrea, and then we have Mackie. Thanks, Diamond. There's a bit of a delay in the chat for me, so oh, there we go. Diamond's Heart's questions come through. So, hey, my name is Yusra. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. There are a lot of eye contact with this guy, Anselin. Will I get intimate with Anselin in the future? We work together. So I don't do yes/no questions. Please bear that in mind, people, when you are posting your question. But let's have a look at the energy between you and Anselin, your work colleague. Oh, there we go. So I think this is how they see you. This is how they view you, which is positive. The Nine of Pentacles often, it's like someone who is very well presented and like wears nice things and wears nice clothes, and someone who is an independent spirit. So that is attractive, okay? So it's someone who is happy in their own company, doing their own thing, got their own life going on. All these really nice qualities, okay? It's almost like I always see the Nine of Pentacles as a bit of a, well, it's a kind of mini Queen of Pentacles, or even kind of has Empress energy to it, really. It's someone who has a sophistication. Even the word is often associated a lot with this card, okay, Diamond Heart. So that's the kind of vibes and energy of how they see you and how they view you, which is positive. Yeah, attractive for sure. What does the Raven mean? I mean, it means something different to me in every time that I read it. Sometimes I often interpret it that it means a free spirit in this card to me, because the Nine of Pentacles is so independent, and to me it says free spirit. So what comes next in this connection? Major Arcana, which is interesting. So Judgment. I feel like what it is that it will be up to you. So the ball will be in your court and it's up to you. What I'm hearing, Diamond, is a judgment call will need to be made. So what I think you need to do is obviously get to know this person more before we make any decisions about, which obviously will happen before you make any time. But I'm just wondering if this is, you're seen in a good light. I believe that the ball will be in your court, Diamond. And then it'll be up to you to make a judgment card. So I suppose I would say judgment as well would be to take your time and don't rush into this. And to get to know this person. So you're quite impulsive, yeah. So this is a warning card in many respects. It doesn't mean that it's going to be bad what you find out, but I feel like you need to kind of get a full picture of this person before like confidently being able to move forward. So yeah, try to be patient and give yourself time with this. I hope that resonated. So Andrea, I'm not sure if you're still here. You're next. We have Andrea, Mackie, or Peter. Thank you, Andrea. Andrew asks, I know my boyfriend Jamie has been texting his ex. Oh, very intimately texts. Can you tell me all the tea on this situation? I mean, how I read the tarot is not, it's obviously not like an what's the word, like I can't tell you blow to blow by blow accounts of this interaction. I can certainly have a look at the energy between them, but you know what I would say is that's, you know, an incredible betrayal, Andrea. So have you confronted them? You know, is this something that you, I mean, living together for 5 years as well, that's really quite brutal, you know. But let's see what Spirit says about this. The Fool. And isn't he a fool? It's actually been very literal, the tarot, on this one for you, Andrea. He is acting a fool and he is being a fool. Now, the positive side of the Fool, which is not this, okay, this is like the shadow side of the Fool reactions. The Fool is someone, in its positive light, is someone who take risks, you know, who is open to adventures, is ready to go for it, okay, and go all in. It's Major Arcana. But the shadow side, which is very much this situation, Andrea, is reckless behavior. It's the Fool is someone who, the shadow side is to like jump off a cliff without asking any questions about where they're going to land. So what I would say is that he is not really thinking. He is just acting impulsively. He is acting recklessly. He's putting this relationship on the line, you know, kind of playing with fire. The Fool card as well is also the first card in the deck, well, in the Major Arcanas. So there's an immaturity here as well, you know, of kind of being immature, childish kind of energy here as well. One more. So, I mean, it's confirming what you already know, but I suppose it is also confirming kind of where he's coming from, where I think it's like, this is just from a place of, it's very hurtful, it is a betrayal, but this is free will of what, Andrea, how you choose to deal with that, you know? But it's coming from, say, his place, it's coming just from this very reckless place. Maybe, you know, it would take more cards than just this one session to dig into deeper as to why, where that stems from. It might be to do with this relationship. It might be to do with other factors that have going on in their life. You may know, okay, about why they've sort of decided to take this reckless turn and just begin sort of playing with fire, yeah? So will this continue or will it change? Maybe that will be useful for you as well. What's likely next actions here from them? Page of Cups. So they will come back with their tail between their legs, I would say. Page of Cups is about coming back through with regrets and with a love offering. But in many ways, you know, the kind of, if you can work it out, work it through. That's, like I say, free will, up to you. But some damage has been done. But I do see them flipping into this Page of Cups energy, which is like a love offering to you. So they will come back feeling like they messed up, and that in a way they will return to you emotionally. But, you know, obviously some trust has been broken and they have behaved in this foolish and reckless way. So where does that leave you? But as in next actions, here they are coming through with a love offering to you with their tail between their legs. What you decide to do, Andrea, at that point or now is, you know, obviously up to you. But I hope that helped. I hope that resonated. So next up we have Maki, then we have our Peter, and then we have Ari. If you all want to go ahead and post, just so we can keep things moving. Thank you, Maki. Oh, sorry, Machi. Thank you for letting me know. Machi. So Machi, please, what's coming in my connection with David until next month, September? No contact situation currently. He's a love interest. Okay, let's see what's coming next. You're welcome, Andrea. Okay, so Machi, let's see what is coming in the connection with David next. So September we're looking at. A crossroads, Machi. So you'd be faced with a decision, a difficult decision as well, which to me would suggest communication. Because Swords is about communication, and it's about going, you know, shifting from no contact to contact. So I suspect or predict what will happen, Machi, is that some connection and news will come through. Something will change, something will shift this stagnate, this sort of point of stillness that you find yourself in now. And I believe this is your energy. This is how, come September, how you are going to end up feeling. And I think you're going to be feeling like you're not sure what the right way forward with this is if to move forward with David, if to maybe end this and cut this completely for good. Yeah. It's really a fork in the road situation, Machi. So going from now, maybe you're just stuck, there is silence, and then moving into, I think they'll come through with some information, communication, they'll have something to say, and you'll be left feeling kind of in your head about this, not sure, from based off of what they've said to you, they've kind of come back to you, and maybe feeling very much in two minds about not knowing what is the way forward. And really, it's like this person is blindfolded, and the only answer for you to find is looking within. Okay, this is why this person is blindfolded here. You won't be able to find answers outside. So through talking to others, maybe even through when communication comes in from them. The voice, you know, inside of you, your intuitive voice and your higher self, we must remember it's always trying to speak to us. Now, if you want to get closer to that, if you're feeling already this angst, this like feeling very torn, what I would suggest is to meditate, is to journal about this, is to try to still your mind, to get closer to that inner voice, to allow it to get louder, to hear it more. And this is what will set you free. So don't look for answers outside. We need to go within. And however you do that, okay? But carve out some time for yourself to be able to feel strongly what the answer is, and then really commit to that path, because to be in this indecision is very painful, and it's very draining and tiring to feel very uncertain and torn. And even if, like this person, there is some messiness in the past, but if you just feel like, do you know what, like, I'm gonna give it a go, and maybe even you could reach out to them, whatever comes from that, but you just think, I'm not ready to let go of this person, and then just commit to that path. Or what might come up is that actually I just want to let go. I need to cut ties with this person. If they do come back, they come back. I may revisit this, but for now, like, I'm just going to release them, and I'm going to pursue other connections maybe, or I'm going to pursue time on my own and building my own self-love and relationship. But right now we need to bring in some kind of practice, like meditation, to still our mind, to set us free from this bind that you're in. But also I do see communication coming through from them before the end of September, but I don't actually think that'll help you feel strongly one way or the other about, you know, it might even just make you more confused. So it's still important to work on listening to that inner voice. Hope that helps. So we have our Peter, then we have Ari, and then we have Raya. I'm just gonna see who is still here at this time. Can you let me know? Because often towards the end of the lives, things do tend to you're welcome, Machi, do tend to peter out. Where are we up to? So we have our Peter. Thank you, Raya. And our Peter. Awesome. So I'll read for you. And I'll do a after Raya. So I'll read for our Peter, then Raya, and then this is the list. Okay. So our Peter asks, how does my upcoming 2-3 month energy look like? So what do you mean by that, our Peter? Do you mean just your spiritual path, or the energy surround, like, where's the focus of where should your focus be? Just let me know a little bit more about what you mean by that. It was funny because I think it was the 9 of Swords had just kind of jumped out, but I put it back. And then we've got the 8 of Swords. So both these cards are about managing our anxieties and fears, our Peter. So you might know exactly what I mean by this. Or you may be someone who naturally is an overthinker, who worries. The 8 of Swords is what often described as kind of a self-imposed prison about a situation that we're facing, that we're dealing with. And the story behind it is that the woman who is behind this wall of swords and who is blindfolded is actually able to untie this blindfold and really just step away from these swords. So the situation isn't as bad as what it seems. Maybe it's about spiraling into kind of worst case scenarios. Yeah. And that's where the focus needs to be, about a situation. You may already feel it, you may already know what it is, but it can be something that's coming up in the near future that can feel like something very negative is on its way to you, but actually that's somewhat of an illusion, and this is easier to navigate than what it may feel like. Okay, so it's about trusting yourself more, I think, Peter, working on that, working on trusting your intuition, trusting yourself, and maybe not looking outside to others for reassurance. Yes, because we have Seven of Wands, it's about standing your ground as well. So not giving in to pressure from others, or not giving into your own internal fears and worries that are telling you, that are really trying to limit you. Maybe you're pushing against your boundaries, you're being more ambitious, you're going for more in your life, and then it's that inner critic who tries to hold us back. Yeah? So it's very much in the next 2 to 3 months, the spiritual lessons, the spiritual path is about, I think, learning to manage that negative inner voice, Peter, and manage that, and saying no and shutting out to that inner critic. Or befriend the inner critic is actually probably the most helpful advice, is to say, you know, it's okay, I hear you, I know that it's because you're coming from a place of you're just worried about me, you're just scared that something bad is going to happen, but it's okay, I've got this, I can handle this. If we can build a narrative and a conversation with our inner critic, this is really can be incredibly healing and liberating. But we also need to be pretty stern and strict with our inner critic, because our inner critic is devious and finds new and interesting and exciting ways to try and tear us down and stop us and limit us, Peter, okay? So that's where the inner work begins for you, Peter. This is in the next 2 to 3 months where you need to focus. Thank you for confirming. You say, yes, this happens. So that's where your energy needs to be. So I hope that helps. I hope that resonates. Hey, Ari, go ahead and post your question. Anyone else, let me know who is still here from the list. I'm not sure if anyone is. Rhea, I'm going to read for you, and then I'll read for Ari. And anyone else, the list seems to have dropped right down, so I'm not sure if anyone is still here, but please, it is Rhea, I'm going to read for you now. So Rhea asks, me and M, my crush, recently became friends on social media. We met at uni a few years ago. What is his next actions towards me in the near future? Let's have a look. So what is M's next actions? That's good that you have made progress, contact with being friends on social media. So what comes next? Thank you, Peter. You're welcome. Oh, look at these. There we go. Okay, so what it's brought through, which is quite interesting, Rhea, is, I think, what they have been dealing with. So they have been dealing probably in the romantic area, love, because that's the energy of this, what we're looking at, that they have been through some difficulties and some conflict. This may still be residual and going on, okay? And the Nine of Wands is when, so they're a little weary, okay? They're a little battle weary. Like, I feel like they've been through something, okay? They've been through a struggle. However, the Nine of Wands does tell us that they are still kind of open to relationship, open to feelings. But this may come into play once if your connection deepens, okay? And it can be something that they may still be energetically dealing with or recovering from. Nothing to do with between you two, but this is telling me where they're coming from, which will influence this connection. It may slow things down. It may... something to be prepared of that Spirit is warning you. Oh, but then look at this, the beautiful Sun card. There is still a lot of joy and happiness and potential within this connection, Raya. Okay, so the sun can come out again after a period of storminess, after a period of clouds. Maybe you've been through something too, okay? I'm reading it as their energy, which I think is true, but this can always mirror to you as well. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't with that. But yeah, there's something around this connection at the moment. This maybe needs to clear out before we can move into this more sun positive energy, which is when things can get easier, things can get brighter, happier, the mood can lift. Yeah, the sun after the storm. But there's certainly some struggle and conflict that has gone on. Okay, I hope that resonated. So Devea, just tell me a bit more about what it is that you want to know. So what do I need to hear the most today? I don't do general readings, so I've stopped doing general readings because I don't find them to be very meaningful. So if there's something that is specifically going on for you, if you want to look at love, career, spiritual, or something more specific than that, you know, break it down. Thank you, Ari, for posting. Hey, Maria. I'll read for you after Ari. Whilst Deveya's rephrasing their question, I'm going to read for Ari, who asks, can you tell me why it's been a struggle for me to land a second job? Let's have a look. It says don't give up. It says sometimes this is just the way it goes. The Nine of Wands is about when this just came through, obviously, in the previous reading. It's somewhat of a battle, okay? So it can just be as literal as, Ari, that it's like the job market is very difficult for everyone right now. It can just, that's the reality. But the Nine of Wands is very much from Spirit, a message to saying it is the promise that it will happen, okay? But we have to keep pushing. So after each wand kind of represents maybe an application, some kind of battle, you know, to some attempt to make it happen. And we are feeling weary, we can feel worn out, close to burnout. But what Nine of Wands says is go back in for another round. So keep trying, do not give up. Because what comes after the Nine of Wands is the 10, which is when we can finally put down the burden. And the Nine of Wands so also says, because it's right near to the 10, which is the end of the cycle, end of the struggle, Ari, it says that you're closer than you think. So you may feel far away from this happening energetically, maybe because you've tried and failed, like, you know, had some knockbacks, had some rejections, and it obviously can impact you and get you down and get you thinking, is this ever going to happen? But with it being a 9, it tells me that you are on the brink of change, of making this happen. So we've got to kind of dig deep, you know, take a deep breath and almost like go back into battle. Yeah. It's very much the 9 of Wands energy is about not giving up, Harry. So it's tough, and it acknowledges that it's indeed been a battle, but also that you're closer than you think. Yeah. Okay, so Devea hasn't updated me yet, so I'm just going to move on to Maria, if you want to post, my love. And then I'll go for the remainder of the list. So we've got Maria, let me know who's here. So we've got Maria, Joanna, hey Tia, thanks for letting me know. Some people may have dropped out, Tia, so I think I will read for you. Thanks for hanging on. Let's have a look, Maria. So what did my love interest feel when I initiated contact yesterday? Let's have a look how that made them feel. The Hanged Man. It's a beautiful Hanged Man, actually, that. Major Arcana. They're feeling stuck, Maria, in some way. In their life, in their love life. The Hanged Man is about, if we can see how stuck this person is, yeah, in a kind of uncomfortable position. This is actually a very beautiful Hanged Man because it's full of flowers and potential and growth still. But they're feeling kind of frozen and stuck. It obviously would take a full spread to kind of really truly dig into this, but it does give us insight into what's going on for them. Now, there is what the Hanged Man is, that there needs to be a change in perspective here for them. So they're not quite seeing things clearly. So whatever is keeping them stuck could be like a mindset issue about their outlook. I don't know what's going on for them, you know, what's in their life, in their love connection. So this may, I don't know if they responded to you or if you've had some kind of back and forth energy, or if it's been slow, but there is something holding them back, Maria, okay? They do feel stuck, and they're not sure how to move forward, or how to, they're not sure how to move forward. It will change. So we do have a Knight of Swords when this is like a shift. Some new information will come through. They will communicate and move forward to you in the end. So this is on a deeper level. So this is more about maybe their emotional availability, Maria. So if they sent you a request back, that's great. But something behind the scenes, something within them emotionally, not outside of this connection, yeah? Outside of this connection, that they're going through something that is not the most comfortable, a difficult situation, which I believe needs to close out, needs to be released, and then we'll usher in this change, this Knight of Swords, and then communication will ease up. They may even tell you about, they may open up and tell you more about what's going on for them. So something to be mindful of moving forward, okay? May require some patience. So we have, so Devaya, I don't do medical advice. No, Shraddha, you didn't miss your turn. Just check out the list. I've just posted it above. So Joanna, I don't think Joanna is here. Joanna, Devonte, Shraddha, Kristen, Diamond Girl, and Tia Bia. So yeah, I don't do medical, I don't do pregnancy, health, legal. Okay, so I want to move things along. So Shraddha, if you want to post your question, and Tia Bia, please post your question. Devonte, thank you for posting your question. So are you single, Devonte? Just let me know about your, do you want me to look at a specific love interest, or if you're single and what comes next in love? Thanks, Tia. Post your question, Shraddha, and I'll see if I can. Just please bear in mind, I don't do yes, no questions. I don't do timeline or general. I'm an energy reader, so... Okay, so Devonte, this is for you. What comes next in love? And then I'm just going to close the list because I've gave everyone a shout out, and I think that's it. So I'll just close out the list after. I will read for Tia Bia last. So I'll read for Devonte, Shraddha, Devaya, if you do want to rephrase your question. Like I say, I don't do medical. And just tell me who Jeffrey is, Devaya, okay? We'll get there in the end, I swear, to this question. But remember, an energy reader, I need context, I need detail in order to connect with your energy. Okay, Devonte, this is for you. What's next? Oh, look. I'm going to take this card. How beautiful. There is a love offering coming through, Devonte. This is very hopeful. Page of Cups. Cups is all about love, romance. And there it was, patiently waiting. It fell out of the deck and was waiting for me to notice it. Could be a Pisces coming through just because it's a fish. So that's what comes through to mind. Could be all this lovely water energy in this deck. And Nine of Cups. Wow, Devonte, this is such a beautiful message for you. Nine of Cups, so more cups, more love, romance, some big beautiful feelings coming your way. And Nine of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. It's about feeling like satisfied. There's a sense of peace here. So get ready, Devonte, okay? Get yourself geared up and being in an emotionally grounded and centered place, okay? Because there is definitely, for sure, a new love opportunity coming your way that has the potential to be very emotionally fulfilling. So very clear message for you, Devonte, okay? Like I say, it could be a Pisces, or they may have that prominent in your chart. So characteristics being someone who can be quite sensitive, emotionally driven, psychic abilities even themselves, kind of dreamy, but very loving, very caring, very open-hearted. That's the kind of energy that I get from all those cards, yeah? Okay, so I'll read for Devea now, because they've struggling with questions, but they've posted now. Then I'll read for Shraddha, then I'll read for Tia. I know we've looked at this before, Devea, and I would say that this is just a gameplay from Jeffrey, and that I would suggest that you need to cut ties, but let's see what Spirit says, yeah? I could be wrong. 10 of Swords, yeah. So there's some kind of, I feel like, messing with your emotions here. The 10 of Swords is like even some feelings of kind of betrayal. I don't know how deep this goes for you, but the 10 of Swords is about feeling at best kind of very let down and disappointed, but more than once, yeah, multiple times. And the 10 of Swords is about the end of the cycle, Devea. And Swords is often about cutting ties and kind of getting very direct, and almost getting tough, yeah? Like not putting up with people's nonsense anymore, because they've kind of led you astray, led you a merry dance, led you down the garden path, however you want to see it, too many times, yeah? So I would say, after all the history that's happened, you know, this relationship really has soured, and is not something that you could, even if he gave you some work, then maybe he would say, you know, he would let you down again. I feel like he's let you down so many times that he's really shown you who he is. And there's that quote where it says, you know, believe people when they tell you who they are. Like, people will tell you who they are, and don't get hooked into, I think, the potential of this situation. I do believe that Spirit is saying we need to release this. This cycle needs to end, and you need to put your energy elsewhere. So Spirit's kind of overriding, you know, so you're wondering why you did it. Who knows? Probably nothing very complicated, just because he would like to maybe mess with you. Maybe he just didn't take this very seriously. It could be 1,000,001 reasons, but ultimately don't even give your energy, that much energy, to thinking about why he did this. It was probably for a stupid reason why he did this, because he could have just been straight with you 1,000,000 times, or come through for you, you know, time and time again. So he's just messed with you, really. And each knife here really represents a time that they have wasted your time. So I think it's time to just focus on a fresh start, Devea, on this front, and cut ties with them. I hope that resonated. Shraddha, let's have a look, and then I'll read for Tia Bia. So let's have a look at the energy, Shraddha, of your future spouse, so their energetic signature. Whoa. The cards just literally... I'm going to shuffle again. Ooh. The devil? Spirit, why the devil? So I don't think this is your future spouse's energy, the devil, okay? But instead what I think has come through is, this is interesting, Shredder. I think that this is a connection that has been toxic for you in the past. And this may still be going on for you right now. Spirit has kind of intervened in your question. It kind of brings through the answers that you need to hear right now. I'm wondering if someone toxic from the past will come through and will try to pull you back into a relationship, and maybe try to pull you back into maybe even marriage. I don't know if you're still in connection, in communication with someone who brings this kind of devil energy, or it can be something that comes up in the near future. So it feels very much like a warning, okay? And I suppose there is the potential that this person and there may be their hold over you, Shredder, that they've had in the past. It could suck you in again. It could suck you in, and you could get tied into their promises again, and their empty promises, and even agree to a proposal. You know, it happens to many people, doesn't it? Again and again, that they marry their toxic partner. But this comes from a place of Eight of Swords, which is that it's from a place of lack and fearing that there isn't anyone else out there for us, and that we will end up old and alone, and those, you know, stories that we're always told by society, that if you don't get married and have kids, that you'll end up old and alone. Which doesn't sound that bad to me, but anyway. And so this is from a place of fear. So Spirit has brought this through, I suppose, to say we need to be mindful not to return to this kind of energy from this place of fear. And we need to instead lean into, get ourselves in more of an abundant mindset, and make sure that these ties are cut and we have a clean break. And to also be mindful, the devil says, of our own toxic behaviors, not just other people, you know. So it's more of a warning card about the here and now, and the decisions I think that we make, Shredder, and about the journey, and about the journey to meeting your spouse and to being with the right person, is about avoiding this kind of mindset and not doing it, not choosing our partner from a place of lack, and protecting ourselves from toxic energies as well. So I hope that resonated. I thought I read for you, Ari. I'm sorry if I got lost in the shuffle here. I read for you, Ari, so just go back and chat. I did read for you, so just go back and check back in the live, but I did read for you. Okay, Tia B and my love, last but not least, thank you for being so patient. It's been a bit of a marathon today. So Tia asks, has Tia posted your question? I'm not sure. Tia, there we go. Tia says, the Pisces reached out at Rekindle with me, as the last card suggested. Yes, Tia. Just checking on his energy, next action towards me. So I know we saw this coming. but you were in two minds if, you know, am I going to deal with this still? You know, do I want to deal with this again? The list is closed, Ritz. I'll be back live on Monday if you want to join us then. A nicer period ahead for you, Tia. Some peace, some balance. 6 is balance, okay? That kind of nice feeling of nostalgia almost, of kind of getting back to how things once were. So this is what's coming next. And it's just full of those beautiful flowers and growth. It feels like emotionally peaceful, emotionally fulfilling. And with it being a 6, it is about balance. And it's about that kind of inner child sort of connection that we often have with loved ones in romantic relationships, where we can sort of be, it can be very healing for our inner child, and that we can feel comforted and feel loved, that part of ourselves which so often gets neglected and can't be reached, which is why love relationships are so powerful, because they connect to that very young part of ourselves. So it's kind of risky, because that's where all our issues lie, and where we have our tendency to kind of lose it sometimes. But it's also why it's so powerful, love relationships, because that's where our healing can happen. But I see with this card, Tia, a more peaceful time ahead, at least for the time being, in the near future, and balance is restored. So I hope that helps. I hope that resonated. Hopefully you can enjoy that, and that there's not too much doubt, you know, hanging over you after that blip that you've had. But certainly on their side is that 6 of Cups. What's their intentions moving forward is loving, is peaceful, is reconnecting, is wanting to get back to that way beforehand, yeah? The way before the blip. Okay. Right, guys, thank you all so much for your questions, for bringing your energy. Wishing you love and light for the rest of the day, rest of the evening, wherever you are. I'll be back live on Monday, so please do join us then. Catch you then. Take care.